Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Jason from Abe's Exotic Reptiles. I hope you guys are doing great today. So I'm back with video 2 from my visit to Justin's facility. I hope you guys enjoyed video 1, which is me just kind of showing all the snakes and kind of checking out the facility. Video 2 is me basically just interviewing Justin. Not a traditional interview. This was a off-the-wall kind of weird interview. I wanted to ask Justin weird questions, stuff that people don't normally ask him. I didn't want to ask him the same crap like, you know, what's your most anticipated pairing of the year and how many clutches are you going to have? I wanted to mix things up and kind of make it fun. And Justin and I had a great time shooting this video. I think you guys are going to enjoy watching it because, again, kind of off the wall weird questions that I'm honestly shocked that Justin even answered some of them. But it was fun. I hope you guys enjoy this. While I have you guys, big shout out to my boy Rodney at Black Sun Reptiles. If you guys don't know Rodney, you need to. But in the meantime, if anybody wants any stickers from me, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on Instagram, Abe's Exotic Reptiles, and basically just DM me, get me your info, and I'll get to you some free stickers. Aside from that, hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll talk soon. Thanks. Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well today. My name is Jason Abraham from Abe's Exotic Reptiles, and obviously I'm here with the man, Justin. We're kind of wrapping up the couple days here by sitting down and doing kind of a Q&A with Justin, asking him some questions of things that I've been personally wondering about and that I think that you guys will be interested in. So as you guys see, you know, I'm like referring to this notepad I have. I had a bunch of thoughts I wanted to ask Justin. I sat on the airplane when I flew here and I kind of wrote out pages and pages of notes. There's so much here that I have to kind of go off these notes, so bear with me while I'm kind of looking down and trying to gain where I'm at. The last time I saw you, Justin, was pre-COVID. We met at Tinley Park because you were bringing me some snakes. Chase was already on the way with the snakes, so you had called me and said, Jason, did you hear Tinley was just canceled? Right. And I said, no, I had not heard this. And Justin but said, hey, your animals are here though. Why don't I meet you for dinner tonight? We'll kind of do an exchange at dinner. And I'm like, all right, cool, that sounds good. And Justin says, hey, my wife came with me. It's the first time she's ever come to a reptile show. She's with me, coming to dinner tonight, meet you and do the exchange for snakes. And I was super excited. And I went to my wife and I said, hey, Justin just invited you and I to dinner with him and his wife. So in my mind, my wife and I are having this exclusive dinner with Justin and his wife. And we walk into a room that is 5 tables long and there's 25 people sitting at it, and Justin and his wife are sitting there, and Justin's like, hey, yeah, grab one of these seats right over here. This is, you know, you and your wife can sit right here. And I kind of look at my wife and I'm like, I cannot believe that I thought we were having this like dinner with Justin and his wife, and it is a huge party full of people. Justin's here dropping off snakes to all of these people. We're having this cool dinner at Giordano's, and to this day my wife and I joke about it. So when Justin goes to buy a snake from another breeder, say he's buying from whoever, you know, but it's a snake he didn't produce himself, and you see this thing online and you go, man, this thing's spectacular, I need it. When you call this guy that may or may not be a friend of yours or someone you've dealt with before, are you going to try and negotiate that snake? Are you going to make them an offer, or is he just going to come in at full price, at the asking price, and go from there?
If it's priced already, I'll generally just pay the price, whatever it is.
If you want it that bad.
Right. Yeah. If it's the right snake for me, then I probably would pay more than it's listed at to get it, because it's the right snake, and the right snake is more important than the price.
Tell me about a huge mistake you've made, whether it be a breeding mistake or whether it be selling a snake or whatever the situation, since you've been doing what you're doing on a very large scale, a huge, like something huge that you go, man, I cannot believe I did that. This could be a huge issue for me moving forward. What was that situation, and what did you do to make sure that it never happened again?
Good question. I would say my biggest regrets, so to speak, would be snakes I didn't buy that I had access to, or someone offered to me. Yeah. And I was too conservative in the moment.
I feel like you're talking right to me because this has happened with us.
Yeah, it has actually. I wasn't talking to you.
I'm just kidding.
You can take it that way. No, I mean, I had access. Matt offered me the first GHI male. And I should have bought it. I should have just been a no-brainer bought it. But back then, I wasn't in the same position financially, and I don't know, I was just nervous.
Yeah, of course.
There's no reason to be nervous. Now I look at the same eyes and the same situation. Now we just bought it in an instant. Yeah. But But yeah, that's probably my biggest regret.
And I've had situations where Justin has contacted me on a project that he knew I was interested in and involved in, and he said, hey, I got this and this, and I'm like, gosh, I'm not sure, and I kind of waffle back and forth, and in the end, in a couple of those situations, I decided to pass.
Right.
And deep regrets, like serious, like in a couple of these projects, I don't even want to talk about them because they've gone on to do like crazy things. And so of course I have regrets there, but it's something that I have learned too, and that is, when it comes to the higher end project and it's a project that you're really deep into, you got to react instantly. If you see that animal show up on Morkmark and it's something you like and it's something that fits into the plan, or Justin or Ozzy or somebody knows that you're in this project, they reach out to you and they say, hey, I got this male, he's available, what do you think? You can't think for a minute. You need to kind of make that decision right then and there. Because the bottom line is this: people like you, people like Ozzy, if you call me and I'm not interested, you're going to call the next guy on your phone and they're likely going to buy it. I guess the moral of this story, that what I've learned, and kind of Justin in his GHI story, is that jump on it. Don't hesitate. Spend that money up front, because you could be looking back 5 years later going, man, why did I pass on that? And I've already had that regret. So how many times in the last 15 years of you being a ball python breeder have you shipped the wrong sex snake to a customer? You said it was a male, it's a female, or vice versa. How many times has that happened?
At least twice. There have been more times where I go to ship it and double check the sex and then have to call the person and be like, hey, I was wrong about it. Before I send it, do you still want it, or can I refund you, or whatever? Sometimes the animal that they would be getting is more valuable because they ordered a boy.
Definitely. I could sometimes, of course, it would benefit them.
But I think across the board, I always just say, look, the animal's yours.
Yeah.
You like the look of the animal.
Yeah.
Are you okay with the other sex?
Yeah.
No matter what the price difference is, I'm willing to send it to you.
So have you ever learned that you sent the wrong sex snake and were just dying inside because it's something you definitely would have kept for yourself and not released?
So well the first time it ever happened.
Yeah.
And it was a huge price difference. They bought a male and I sent a female, and the female was like 4 times as expensive at the time. And it just made me sick. And the person's like, oh, thanks, I'm happy it's a girl. Like, I bet you are.
Of course. All right, let's talk about stimulus checks a little bit. All right, kind of these checks went out a couple weeks ago. We saw what happened during the summer last year. Morph market inventory went from here to here after all these stimulus checks started going out. People were cashing this money and buying snakes. It worked out very well. It was amazing. It seems like it was a banner year for kind of the big breeders involved. A lot of inventory went out the door. I saw it personally on Morph Market. Things were just disappearing as these checks were being released. So as we know, a couple of weeks ago, the big checks were released. How has that impacted you personally in your business? Not last year, but this past couple of weeks with the big checks that went out. How does that impact you, and how do you feel about that?
It definitely gets busier. It's hard to compare year to year.
Yeah.
I was shocked that overall things got more expensive and more busy during COVID in 2020 in general. Shocked, because when we first got the lockdown and everything, I literally was thinking, well, maybe I should go out there and like pull my 50% of my pairings, just the cheaper ones, and just not make so much volume. I didn't know how bad things might get.
Sure.
And it ended up that it was busier than ever, because who could have predicted that people would sit at home and think about buying snakes and think about investing in their hobbies and everything. And I mean, obviously snakes aren't the only thing that got busier during COVID. Lots of different
I was just going to say, people were buying dogs and cats and animals. It seemed like that they were kind of on the fence about purchasing and bringing into the household. Once they were sitting at home forever, they did some research, they had the time, they knew they were going to be home. If they wanted to bring in a puppy, that generally entails you to be with it all the time when you're working your normal 9 to 5. Now you're in a position to be able to do that. The animals went crazy last year.
The home improvement sector went crazy.
Oh, yes,
everybody trying to fix all the things that bother them. They're sit around and look at it all day. And I mean, we always sell all of our inventory every year, no matter what.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a matter of like how much pressure people are putting on you to sell it, and we've seen a big increase on that.
We know there's some NARBC shows coming up.
Yeah.
Arlington next month, April. Are you going?
We'll be there.
You'll be there. What about Tinley, which has now been shifted to Schaumburg, Illinois in June? Are you going to be going to that?
We have our table booked. So unless something changes, we'll definitely be there. Yeah.
And then what might be Tinley or Schaumburg in Illinois in October is planned.
I hope so.
And then of course Arlington again.
I hope it gets back to normal. We can hit all these major shows.
I'm with you. Like I'm praying that it happens. I'm really excited that Illinois is kind of opening the doors and letting this thing happening in Schaumburg. That's exciting to me. It tells me that, maybe this thing is kind of coming to an end soon. Okay, weird question kind of about Justin. I'm curious about this. So as people know, you used to wear glasses, right? You wore glasses for a long time. You and I have had conversations about our glasses, how like, God, you know, I remember a couple of years ago we talked and it's like, man, it must be nice to be able to walk into like the Ray-Ban store and just pick a pair of Ray-Bans off a shelf and buy them. I've never been able to do that because I have like crazy astigmatism glasses. I've had to wear my whole life. Every pair of sunglasses I've ever had were prescription, you know, and they don't look cool and blah, blah, blah.
Expensive to lose too.
Expensive to lose and just a nightmare all the way around. And of course you couldn't have the cool glasses. So a couple years ago you had LASIK.
Right.
And some people may or not know that, but Justin did have LASIK a couple years ago, and as you can see, he never wears glasses now, and it's probably, I bet. So, first of all, do you miss looking as cool as me?
No. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
We know that you're an Atlanta Falcons season ticket holder. You've mentioned it a couple times in videos. You're a fan of football. Sometimes you like to kind of go spend your Sundays with the kids and go watch a football game at the Dome. So, first and foremost, why do the Atlanta Falcons suck so bad? And why are you remaining a fan? You're putting out this money to be a season ticket holder for a crappy team, like going to this Dome and a team with a bad quarterback who's like old and can't even get it done anymore. And I'm just kind of curious about your mindset, like trying to, I don't know, like wasting your Sunday to watch a team that sucks. I root for the Chicago Bears. They're awesome, even when they're bad. But the Atlanta Falcons, I just don't get it, man. And his like commitment to them is deep, and I don't understand why. So why do they suck so bad, and why are you still a fan?
Well, I think I just gotta say, like, this is very unprofessional for you to take this question to this place because Atlanta has no bearing on JKR, and it's just a weird thing for you to kind of bring this up like this. And I don't think I can continue the interview at all, man. Actually, so.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Get back here. Alright, we're just playing. I told him I was going to ask this question, and we thought it would be fun to kind of joke with the crew a little bit.
Sucks, but they're not going to be bad forever.
I've always been a fan of Matt Ryan. I like the Atlanta Falcons. They're a dome team, you know. Of course, I'm a hardcore Bears fan, and I know that Justin is a hardcore Atlanta Falcons fan. Alright, everybody, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I had a lot of weird questions, and now I want to get to a serious subject, and that is USARK. You know, as we know right now, the country is struggling. The reptile community is hurt. You know, we've taken a few major blows. There are certain states that are considering not letting animals cross state lines. There are certain states that are not letting reptile keepers keep specific large breeds of lizards, of snakes. It's happening everywhere. There was a battle that was lost in Florida recently, and where I'm kind of going with this is the importance of USARK and the donations that they work off of, and that is dependent on us. It's a critical time for us to kind of come together to protect our rights as reptile keepers. You know, this is a hobby we love. It's something we've been doing a long time, and right now the only way to protect ourselves is to pay for legal defense, and that comes in the form of USARK.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that there's so much opposition out there. We have no idea the strength and the numbers of people who have the agenda that animals shouldn't be kept as pets at all.
Yeah.
But specifically not the weird ones like the ones we have, right? The reptiles. Yeah. And so we're fighting an uphill battle that has almost unlimited funding. And so unless we fight against that and actually come together and quit fighting each other, come together and fund a single organization that can, with one front, fight these things on a legislative level. No amount of complaining on Facebook isn't going to fix this. It has to be done in the courthouses, in the actual state legislatures, and USARK's the way to do that. So if you enjoy reptiles, it's an unfortunate reality of the situation we're in that we need to be funding USARK.
Absolutely. It's critical, and at this time everybody really needs to kind of come together. And again, if you're a serious reptile person, contribute something. Even if you could do a one-time payment of 10 or 20 bucks, that's going to help the cause. So you don't have to subscribe to a membership, but for 40 bucks a year, you know, that's not a lot of money when you're spending a lot of money on reptiles and food for your reptiles. Quite honestly, it's a drop in a bucket considering the situation. So please kind of think about it a little bit, whatever you can. It's all going to help us in the long run.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
Good interview, Justin. Appreciate everything, man. Thank you so much for doing this today. I really appreciate you kind of welcoming, you know, the guys and I in here, letting us kind of explore, take it all in, letting me speak freely with you, ask these weird questions, and shoot this video with me. Like, we had a blast. I want to thank you. This was awesome. Yeah. And again, thank you so much for having us. This was really cool. Nice.
Thank you, Justin.
Nice. All right. I think that's good.